Aloha, welcome to Ukulele Puapua. My name is Kaili and I'm going to be showing you today how to change your ukulele strings on 4 different types of bridges here. A couple of the tools that we're going to need are just a peg winder, and make sure that it has a groove right here for the bridge pins. We also recommend a good pair of pliers. The 4 styles of bridge we're going to use are classical style. This is the traditional notch bridge. The sandwich style bridge, the bridge pin style. Step 1, loosen all of your strings using the tuners and the peg winder. You just put this on here and you wind it, loosen it to the point where you pretty much can unwind it by pulling the string off. When you're taking off the strings, you want to look at how it was put on originally, especially when you're looking at the bridges. Take this notch and you're going to shove it underneath your bridge pin like this, and then you're going to pull up. When you change a string, you want to make sure that you go down from wherever the top is. We're going to make a loop like this. You're going to go 1, 2, 3 times on the G and A string because they're thinner, and you're just going to pull. And then in order to lock it, you're just going to tie a regular overhand knot, just like that. Boom. I had to make a new knot because this knot was originally too small, so I tied a new one, made it bigger. And to cut off the tag end here, I'm going to put it inside of the G, and make sure you line up the string with this notch right here, and you line up this notch in the bridge pin to the notch right here. You shove that in, good, and pull as you push down on the bridge pin. So when you pull on it, you want to make sure that the bridge pin doesn't pop up. If it does, then you need to make a bigger knot. This is the classical style, and as you can see, it's tied very tight. The easier way to do it, we're going to pull it out of the tuner pins here. We're going to lift each one up, and you're going to dig underneath the knot, and you're going to pull. Take the tag end, pass it through this part here. Make sure you don't put it on the peg first. You want to make sure that it's completely loose. So you're going to take this tag end here, point it down towards the A string side, and then you're going to bring it around the main line here, and then you're going to just pass it through that loop that you just created towards the A string again, and then you're just going to loop it a couple of times around there. You're going to take this tag end, hold it down with your thumb towards that A string, but on the other side of this ledge. You want it to point down this way and not out, otherwise it can slip. You're going to get a little bit of slack on this tag end, so you're going to pull and then push down here. Hold down strong while you pull on the main line here. So I'm just going to pull that, and you're going to pull it tight, and you can see this tag end points more down that way as opposed to out that way. And if you look, you can see when I pull that, the tag end is curving down over the ledge, and that's going to create a lock. Otherwise, it would slip back this way. I'm going to put the C string in, and when it comes out the other side, get this tag end from the G string and put it over the C string. So now, when I tie my knot, that string is going to be tucked in here, and you can just cut it there, or you can let it get caught by all the other strings and then just cut here. Now for the sandwich style bridge. Obviously, we're not going to get this out. We're going to go towards the head again. Unwind them just like before. You're going to shove the strings down and in. You need something like a paper clip to go in and grab the strings from the inside. What we like to use is this dental instrument. This also has a magnet at the end. So if you use metal beads on the other side of your bridge, this can attract the bead. And all you're gonna do is you make sure, if you have a bead on there, you make sure that the bead is at the end. And try to get the beads, and then scoop them and bring them out like this. Grab the bead, pull out that string, and now I have the bead here. I'm just gonna pull that bead off. Like I said earlier, we can use the magnetic side. So if you have anything magnetic, like even for getting car parts out of an engine, you can use this and pull metal or magnetic beads out. What you're going to need are these beads. You don't have to use beads if you don't want to. These are magnetic and it helps to hold the strings in place. The bigger beads are going to be used for the two middle strings because they're stronger. If you look at the smaller beads, we're going to use that for the G and A string on the outside because they are thinner. Take this tag end here, put it inside of the bridge, get an excess amount in there. And then we're going to take our hook tool, we're going to scoop it and pull that string out on this side. Take your bead and thread it through that tag end in the hole. And once you thread it through, you want to tie a strong enough knot. So I'm just going to loop it and do a 2-loop overhand knot again. You can take your pliers, put it on the tag end, tie it tight, lock it down with another regular overhand knot, just like that. And then you just want to test it by pulling up on your main line. If you don't feel any slipping or anything like that, then you should be good to go. You just want to shove it through, get your hook tool, and then look at it. It kind of locked itself, so it's not going to go anymore. So I'm just going to cut that tag end off. Now we have a nice knot that's going to keep this bead here in place. Just pull that through, take it this way, and then you're just going to tie it on here. And you're going to do the same thing for all 4 strings. Of course, it's not going to come out this way, so you have to take off the strings from the tuning pegs, just like the classical one. So we're just going to unwind this one, all 4 strings, and we're just going to pull them out. Just get a little tension on it. I'm going to show you how to do a really good knot that's not too big, but it's just enough, just strong enough so that it doesn't come loose. Okay? And then you're going to tie one other knot to lock it. And you can get your pliers here, grip the tag end with it and pull just to make sure that it doesn't come loose. And then you put this knot inside of the notch here and you're gonna pull. Usually you hear a click, sometimes you don't, but you're just gonna pull and test the strength of that knot. We're gonna pull this knot out, cut the tag end off right there, put it back in and pull. You do the same for all 4, and then you're gonna tie the peg heads. We're going to take the other end of the G string and we're going to go into the hole of the tuning peg. We're going to pull that through until it's taut, and you want to make sure that it goes into the right notch. Then you want to pinch it just like this, but on the other side of the nut. The way that SI likes to do his tuning pegs is he brings the tag end back through this way and he pulls that through until he has a nice loop right here. In order to lock it down, you wrap that around on top of the loop just one time towards the inside. You always want to make sure that your strings are going towards the middle of the ukulele. So you don't usually want your strings to come out this way, otherwise you're going to have to turn your keys a different way, tighten or loosen them. So you want them all to go towards the inside. So these 2 pegs, you want them to come this way. And these 2 pegs, you want them to come out this way. Another way is really simple. You're going to pass the string through the peg head, bring a little slack on this side, and then you're going to take the tag end here, and then you're going to bring it back through like this. Pull through. And then when you create that bend, you're just going to wrap your main line around one time over, and then the rest of them are going to be under this tag line. Use your peg winder because this is going to be quicker. So you're going to put that over here and you're going to find which way to turn it so that it pulls away from your main line here. This case, it pulls towards me. Make sure that you keep tension using your opposite hand on the line to keep it taut, and make sure that there's no slipping when you wind it up. And after a while you feel enough tension, you can start to let go of the tension on your other hand, and then just use it to play the string so you can get a relative pitch going. You don't want to make it tuned all the way, otherwise the tension is not going to be equal across the fretboard. So right about there, that's good enough. Okay, so we've gone ahead and we've finished every single string. Just repeat. Once you have all of them under tension, somewhere around there, then you can tune the strings. Just a tip for tuning ukuleles, especially after you've just strung it up, you want to make sure that you take any slack out of the tuning pin as much as possible. Just take your 2 fingers and pinch it at an angle like this and pull towards the bridge on each string after you tighten it. And then you're probably going to hear some of them have slacked. Just tune it back up. It should hold a lot better now.